Hello, my loves. Did I understand the assignment? Listen, we're talking about K-dramas. I had to channel the inner K-drama girl in me. I never close my buttons this up high. As a matter of fact, if I can't breathe in the middle, I just take it out. I don't know how Koreans do it, man. I really don't. Anyway, my name is Ellis Mokadila. If this is your first time on my channel, I make lifestyle and fashion videos. Mainly vlogs, and we're in the middle of Vlogtober. As you can tell from the title, I have been making vlogs for every day of October. Guys, how are we in day, as per the norm, I obviously don't know what day it is. How are we in day 19? I don't know. But since we are making vlogs, basically, me showing you my everyday life, it would not be complete without me talking about K-dramas. Because, okay, give me a minute to close my button using tips because, that takes time. We were talking about K-dramas, and I watch K-dramas so much. I watch them almost every single day. Like, unless I'm super, super busy, then I won't watch it. But then my idea of a perfect dinner is me having a plate of dinner and watching K-drama. I can skip the dinner, but I won't skip. Okay, no, just kidding. The dinner and the K-drama, because that's how it rolls. And so today I'm going to be giving my top 10 K-drama recommendations. And please, flood my comments with your favorites, your top 10, anything that you'd recommend for me to watch, or something that I'm going to mention that you also love, or something that I mentioned and you just can't stand and couldn't even complete it. Let's just talk all about K-dramas because Lord knows I love it so much. Before I go into what is my top 7, I just want to say there are about 3 things that I consider before I put something on the list of my favorite K-drama. As a matter of fact, this was very hard to come up with because of the plethora of K-dramas that I've watched over the years. But I tried because, well, we tried. Here are the 3 things that I considered. 1, storyline. Storyline is everything to me. From the love storyline, is there romance? If there is a romance, which I'm a big fan of romance, rom-com, so as a matter of fact, a lot of the ones on this list are gonna be rom-coms, but of course we have some action thrillers and all of that. But for me, it matters what is the storyline between the lovers? What is their relationship going to be like? How is the build-up? How are the conflicts? Are the conflicts even realistic? Or are they fighting about something that is so stupid that I'm pissed off just watching? Is the relationship toxic? Because I don't like watching toxic shows just because there's enough toxicity in my daily reality for me. I don't need that level of toxicity from my screen. Of course, the sweetness. How sweet is it? Is it a feel good? Is this something that I finished watching and I feel like, oh my gosh, this story was so good and so sweet. It makes me like want to keep watching. So that, but also what is the message behind it? As much as I love romance, I really don't like it when the show is just about 2 people and it has no underlying messages. Like, life revolves around these 2 people. What is their job? Like, I like when a show is about something else, especially if it's about their work or their art or something that they're fighting for or a nation that they're protecting or a case. Like, it has to be something beyond the characters just loving each other and breaking up and, love triangles and stuff like that. So that's important, the storyline. And lastly in the storyline, which goes into my next thing, that I considered in making this list, is the characters, the side characters particularly. How is the story developed? Is the story just around the 2 main characters, or is the other side characters also considered? That's very important to me because I get bored just watching the story about 2 people. And so the side characters really matter, which brings me to my second part, which is the cast. From the 2 main characters, do they have the chemistry, or is it being forced on us? How is their chemistry together? Are they do they have good chemistry? And usually some of the shows that are going to be in this video, I know some of y'all won't agree just because I've watched other videos like this, and they would be like, oh, I didn't see the chemistry between these 2. But listen, I see what I want to see, okay? So yeah, it's very important to me if the main characters have chemistry, but also the side characters, how interesting are they, and how is the chemistry between the main characters and their side characters. It makes the show really well built and really well written. And so yeah, that's That's another thing I consider. And lastly, how often can I watch this show? Do I want to watch it again right after finishing it? If it aired every day, is it the kind of show that every day it aired, I would really want to watch it on the day it aired? Or was it like, okay, fine, I'll watch it or whatever. That would be, or was I really excited every other week to actually watch it? How many times have I rewatched it in the last months, years? Because I am the girl who's going to be watching a new show and an old show because I don't get over shows that I love. There are shows that I've watched for more times than I can count. And we'll find that out in the list. Now, let's get into the list. In no particular order, because honestly, I just love all of these shows so much. But in no particular order, let's just get this out of the way. Every Lee Min-ho show, except Family, because that's the one I haven't watched. I don't know if there's any other that I haven't watched, but I know Boys Over Flowers is the one that completely reintroduced me to K-dramas. I'd watched K-dramas growing up, Jumong, Jewel in the Palace, the ones that were being translated into English and shown in our local channels, ITV particularly. And then I'd stopped for a while. Like, I didn't watch the Winter Sonata or whatever. I didn't watch it for like a very long time. And then I started watching Boys Over Flowers. And that's when the floodgates opened. I've not stopped since. Watched it so many times. I literally craved the sins. And then City Hunter. I literally will write a remake of City Hunter. Just let it be known. It may be in 10 years, but I will write. That's how much I love it. City Hunter. And then there's one about architect. What's that? Oh, that one where he was actually an architect. Personal Taste, love that one. And then there's Theirs, which was very popular among a lot of people. I think it's one of those shows that really started getting K-drama out. I think Legend of the Blue Sea, which was really funny. I liked it. I don't usually watch mermaid shows, but I watched it because Lee Min-ho was in it and Jun Ji-hyun. The King, the latest. I love this one so much. As a matter of fact, just yesterday I was thinking, I miss Lee Min-ho shows. I need a show, okay? I know you're not watching it, but sir, we need you on the screen. We need you back on the screen. That was like 6, 7. Let's just get those 7 ties out of the way. Moving on, we have... I made a list because God knows my brain. Next on the list is Hospital Playlist. Particularly for me, Season 2. Because the Season 1 and 2, and I took my time watching Season 1. I think I didn't watch it until... I actually watched Season 1 this year. And I liked Season 1. It was okay. But then, because I watched Season 1 and I loved it, it was okay, it was beautiful, but I wasn't in love with it. And then Season 2 came, where we had actually known the characters. As I said, one of the most important things for me is the love storyline in the character, and if I actually feel the chemistry between the main characters. And so I think the couples in Season 2 made it really funny, made it really more interesting, sweeter, and of course, the friendship, medicine. I love any TV show about medicine. And so it being about medicine already makes it a show that I would love. But then also it being around friendship. And then the music. Soundtrack is insane. They have a band. So obviously all the songs that they make. I just love this show so much. And you know what? I wouldn't mind a Season 3. I'd actually watch it. Strong Woman, Do Bong Soon. Strong Woman, Do Bong Soon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct. But then I'm not Korean. So, you know, excuse my... can't say excuse my French, can I? I love this show so much just because of the humor and then the unusual storyline, the fact that it's the girl that's the superpower with the supernatural strength and can do all of this stuff, then the dark undertone with like some serial killer on the loose, and then there's this scene that is stuck in my brain and I will laugh about this for years. Just the scene of her carrying the man, that was hilarious. I'm just like, wow, I love this show and just how different and yet, obviously, yet the same feel good and the same humor and the same chemistry. The chemistry was really good. It was just a very good show in general. Light-hearted, not too many plot twists, just a simple, sweet show that you can watch and enjoy. We have a tie, and the tie is between Descendants of the Sun and Vincenzo. At this point, I can't really pick one. Just because with Descendants of the Sun, I loved it so much because it combined, obviously, what I love, medicine, and then with military and a little bit of action. I'm not big on action, but I like it when it's written into something else. I like it when it's mixed with romance and humor and maybe science and just, I don't like it when it's just people fighting all over the place. Just, ain't nobody got time for that. Not me anyway. So I loved how it was not just fighting, it was the military and fighting for the nations, and then a doctor saving lives in the third world country. It was just all over the place. Plus the chemistry was, I mean, song. This people ended up dating in real life, marrying in real life. So, you know, the chemistry was good. And the side characters, the doctors, the soldier and the soldier doctor, it was just amazing to watch. So I watched Descendants of the Sun more times than I can count, to be honest. This year, we got Vincenzo! And let me tell you, when it first started, one thing about Vincenzo is that I didn't like the humor. I don't like when humor is overdone. And there's a way in Vincenzo, some jokes are just really overdone. And I'm not a big fan. However, one, Song Joong-ki was in a suit. There's no way I cannot watch Song Joong-ki in a suit. So I kept watching, and then I loved the female lead so much. Listen, I love Song Hye-kyo, but I ended up loving Young-bin even more. Jo Young-bin, is that her name? I ended up loving her even more in this character because Hong Chae-young was bonkers. I'd never seen a character that I could relate to in TV so much. Like, literally, she was on steroids. However, she can also be very serious. She's very smart. She plans out a thing. But she's too much. When you watch her, she's too much. And then Vincenzo was given the character of, like, he has this very dark past, but also has this really calm, collected, and literally, the only time you see him shaking is when something... I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't watched it. Totally go watch it. If you ended in the middle and you have yet to finish it, totally go finish it because it's one of those shows that actually really gets better the more you watch it. At first, I wasn't into it. I was watching it for Song Joong-ki and like the crazy girl. But the more I got into it, the plot twist about who the real villain is, the villain gang, how merciless and unshaken they were. I've never loved the villain as much as I loved in this show because they were unapologetic about their evil. They weren't questioning whether they should be evil or not. Like, they were very unapologetic in being evil, which is why it made this anti-hero movie really good because, listen, we're not punishing people who want to be forgiven. We're punishing people who... Okay, in real life, this doesn't apply. I don't believe in revenge. However, movies like this always make me think of like the spiritual part, like God, Satan. It's just really funny for me to watch. Anyway, if you're watching this and you're a guy and you know your personality is anything like Vincenzo, call me. Just kidding. Don't call me. Reply 1988. I honestly cannot believe that I actually skipped something. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's fine. Reply 1988. I can't believe I actually watched this show this year. What was I doing? Like, literally 2016 is one of the years I watched K-dramas the most because I was on holiday plus I was depressed. So that was my way of dealing with depression. It's not fun. It's actually very sad. However, I watched so many K-dramas. I don't know why I didn't... Oh, wait. I know why I didn't watch K-drama. Reply 1988. Because it seemed old, I really didn't think that I would watch it and love it. And so for a long time, I would hear about it, but I never really gave it much thought. And then this year, I think I saw it on a video like this as one of the best K-dramas. I was like, you know what? Let me give it a watch. And let me tell you, I will be watching this show for the next 10 years. It's just one of those shows that's just so wholesome. I love the humor. I'm not even into comedy, but I love the humor in this. You can get the sounds out of your head. It's just so funny. The friendship between these 5 friends is so sweet. And then the love story. Listen, I had never had second lead syndrome like this movie. I wanted them to end up together so bad. So I'm so happy that they're actually dating in real life. So if you haven't watched Reply 1988, I haven't ruined it for you completely. Though I remember being in the middle of the show and almost stopping to watch just because I really wanted to see if they're going to end up together, only to find out they won't. But however, I was too invested in the show, so I had to finish it. And I ended up like really, really falling in love with all of the characters, the Ajumas, the Ajushis, the friends themselves, even the ending, which I didn't like, but I loved the meaning behind it. That, listen, you hold your fate in your hands. If you don't take action, you're going to miss that person that you love. At the end of the day, it's a choice. Reply 98, chef's kiss. Now, before I mention my actual favorite TV show. Oh, wait. There's one more. But then, I don't even know. You know what? We'll go to honorable mention. There's an honorable mention. It's not on this list, but it's an honorable mention. Honorable mention. Weightlifting Kim Bok Jo. I hope I am pronouncing that right. However, this show was very sweet. I just liked when they finally started dating. It's one of those shows that you watch and you feel so good and so sweet, and you're like, okay, listen, I'm just gonna wait for a K-drama, because I don't even live in Korea, so I don't know if Korean guys are actually like this. So all I can say is that it makes you want to date a K-drama character. Like, this was one of those shows. They're very sweet, and it's a college show, and I watched it during college, so it was very relatable and sweet. It was just very sweet. Now moving on to, I want to call them a tie, because both of these I love so much. One is It's Okay to Not Be Okay. Hands down, one of the best K-dramas of all time. The way it talks about mental health, the way it addresses, I love the female lead so much. From her fashion sense to her, what they call disorder, however, not what they call, her disorder, it just shows you, like, sometimes people have real issues and have real, like, we have this joke in my family where, kuna watu wana mafaili mwimbili. So, like, don't miss it. Don't just, like, generalize. It just makes you a little bit more compassionate to people's characters, though her actual disorder is her literally lacking compassion. But at the same time, the trauma that she went through and just everything that she's been through, and then the plot twist at the end, the chemistry between the chemistry between the two, how well they complement each other, with this guy just being the sweetheart and nurse, like someone who's very sweet and calm and collected, and then this wild card. Again, I love me a first female lead. I love me one of them. It just feels like, listen, I'm watching one of me, one of myself. Last but not least, a lot of y'all might disagree with me. However, this is my favorite. It's called Romance is a Bonus Book, which I personally think is one of the best K-dramas to ever exist. For me, I understand that it's not that loud, it's not that chaotic, which is literally exactly how I like my dramas, as you can tell from most of the actual as you can tell from the I cannot talk. As you can tell from the rest of the list, I don't like a lot of crime, a lot of action. For me, slice of life kind of dramas are my favorite. It's the reason that I love watching vlogs and I make vlogs. I love watching everyday life. People who love their jobs. People who, like, there is a way. This whole show is about editors and authors, and just the male lead is an author and chief editor, and he's this young man who falls in love with an older woman. And I love how they played it out. First of all, the young man, older woman couple, which a lot of people usually say, like, somehow it affects the chemistry. For me, I love the chemistry. I love the chemistry. I love how the younger man was the one with, like, a very settled life, stable job, stable house, like everything is stable. And then there's this woman who literally just got divorced from a very rough divorce. Child is now in boarding school. She gave up her career, but also it shows the struggle of women. A struggle through trying to get back to the marketplace was very I don't know how to put it, but for me it was very I don't know if I can say compassionate to watch. The humor, the chemistry between the whole cast, even the so-called antagonists, like the people who were like the ones that loved the main characters on the side. It wasn't some big chaos. It's some lighthearted, some sweet, humorous show that you can watch over and over. And of course, Lee Jong-suk, baby. You're sweet. Just your face makes me want to watch it. So, me talking about him like he's actually watching this show. I love how I do this to myself. Anyway, I love that TV show so much. So if you're looking for some lighthearted, sweet something to watch, then definitely I would recommend Romance is a Bonus Book. Other than that, those are the shows that I love. I love all of these shows. These are the kind of shows that I would watch on any given day. Like, oh, I forgot. One last honorable mentions. I had two. Goblin. The only reason it's not on this list is because I don't like mystery shows or fantasy. Like anything to do with fantasy, I hate fantasy shows just because I overthink them. I always think about the reality, spiritual side of it, how it can like bring deception. I overthink the whole thing. However, this was one of those highly recommended shows that everybody, it's been 4 or 5 years, and every list that I watch about K-dramas talks about Goblin. And then I found the soundtrack to it, fell in love with it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. And let me tell you, other than the fact that I hate the mystery part of it, which is obviously a big part of the show, the humor, the chemistry, the cinematography, the soundtrack, the sadness, it is tragic. I love me a sad TV show. Also, another reason I love It's Okay to Not Be Okay. I love tragic shows. Anything that can make me cry is Chef's Kiss. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching these shows. This will be all for today's vlog. I can't put anything else into this video. So I'll see you tomorrow with another vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. And if this was your first time watching, then consider subscribing. I hope you subscribe and turn on the notification button so you can be notified the next time that I upload. But also like this video. And as I said, flood the comment section with anything to do with K-dramas because, let's be honest, the fact that I made this video really means that's the one topic you can get me going about at any time of the day. Oppa!